Hey everyone, it's Miriam here at the Paper Wheel Studio. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? I welcome all of you, and especially to my new subscribers. And don't forget, when we get closer to 500, I do have another giveaway coming up. And you'll get more information about that the closer we get. So this is the last day of the ABC April Challenge. It's kind of sad to see it end. However, we've been all the way through the alphabet now, and we are at the letter Z. So my idea for Z, I called it a zigzag folio. It's not anything new. I'm sure it's something I've seen online somewhere, only I'm putting my own little twist to it. So stick around and see what we come up with today and what it looks like. All right, I am going to start as my base. I have 3 envelopes. You can use any 3 envelopes you want to make this. It does not matter the size whatsoever. Just 3 envelopes. And I'm not gluing down my flaps to start. I am going to use the flaps to hold my little folio together. And the reason I'm calling it a zigzag folio, because once it is all put together, it will look like the letter Z when you hold it up on its spine. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to construct it, and then I will... I've got some papers that I went ahead and got them cut to size, so I didn't take up your time while I cut my papers. And I'll start getting them down once I get this little folio assembled. I am going to use my, I was going to use my glue stick, but I will use it to glue the papers down. However, I think the assembly part here, I've got my Fabric Fusion upside down here all ready to go, and I had trouble getting it out of the bottle, so hopefully this bottle won't give me any troubles. And let me think momentarily here how I want to do this so that it comes out right. Okay, that's how I want it. I'm going to glue these 2 together, and this is going to be the middle of my Z, so let's start with that. And hopefully, I thought about this in bed last night, so hopefully my thinking is right about putting it together, and hopefully it'll work. I've not made a prototype here so you can see what it looks like or anything, so just getting my cap off there. Scissors are very good to get caps off the glue for me. All right, I'm going to glue this flap onto I have this with the inside of the envelope here going down, and let me go ahead and I'm going to ink this up around. Do I want to use my walnut stain? Yeah, I do. I'm going to go ahead and ink around the edges of my envelopes, and especially where the inside piece is, so you'll be able to tell if it's the top or bottom of the envelope as I'm putting this thing together. Leave my glue over there so that it'll be ready to roll here. I'll probably come back and ink all this in the end, but for now, I think I'm just going to ink this part of my envelope so you can tell what's what as you watch the video. You'll be able to see. So I'm going to ink the insides. Good. And if I have enough papers, I may cover the insides of it. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. But the way it's going together, I can come back and do that at any time. All right, so let me just finish up with these other 2. Looks like I'm going to have to add a little bit glue for the insides to hold this together. See how it's separating? Okay, you can see that good. Yeah, you'll be able to see that okay, I think. hopefully. Just trying to give you some ideas about how you can just use up things that you have. And I have oodles, multiple, plethora, whatever word you want to use, for a very large abundance of envelopes. I like to use them for bases and pockets and different things. So I just have so many. I thought I would use them for the base for this little zigzag folio today, which is what I'm calling it. It actually kind of will be like a cross between a ephemera holder and a journal. So when all else fails, call it a folio. That's what I've done. Don't know what else to call it. All right. So there we go. Got them folded. Now you'll be able to tell tops and bottoms. So I'm going to take my first envelope. I'm going to lay it with my flap facing the left. And then I'm going to bring this envelope along with the opening up and bring it back here. I got ink on that, but it won't matter. So these two are going to go together. The opening is facing down as I glue them together, and then this is just going to go right here on top of this flap. I'm going to be covering all sides of it, so that will take care of any ink spots or hiding these where you glue them down. So come on, glue, cooperate. I was going to use that, but for simplicity purposes today, I'm going to use my glue stick. It'll go quicker on video, and I can always come back and glue this a bit at a later time. So I'm going to use glue stick. Let me get a glue paper out from under my mat. I keep a couple pieces under my mat, and then I always have it handy when I need it. So is anybody else sad to hear the ABC challenge is over after today? It really has been absolutely wonderful. I did get to catch the live with Tony and Margaret from 7 Plaza for the ABC April challenge. I did not get to see the live. I watched part of it, but I didn't realize what time it was in the UK, and by the time I looked it up and had a chance to watch it, it was already over. But you can always watch the replay of lives, and you can comment on them. You just can't comment where they can see your comment as they're doing the video. So when I glue these together, I want to not quite, I don't want to make sure that I can still fold this back easily. So I'm going to put it down and then make sure it folds good. Just going to leave a fraction of an inch there along that edge. Even everything up. When you use a glue stick to do this, you've got a lot of wiggle room, so to speak, with your glue stick. So there we go. And I glued it to my glue paper. That's why you have glue paper, right? To protect your mat from all this excess glue that you get. All right. So now we have that much of our Z done. And I'm going to come back with this one. And I want my opening to face the inside. So I want to put this down in a way that the opening is going to be facing the inside of this. So if I glue it that way, I have a pocket here and a pocket facing out here, which I don't mind because I will, I'm going to be doing a wraparound closure. So anything that's put there will be held with a closure in place. No, I'm good with that. This is what we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to get some glue down on this flap. That's sticky. I better fold that over a bit before I get started. This was just from like an origami. It's very thin paper. And I know I'll never use this in a journal. Ooh. See, I cut right into my glue stick there. see if I can salvage that bit here. I'm a little bit over my line, but that's okay, it won't hurt. Don't think it will anyway. Make sure I get all my edges good and get it nice and purple. Get it nice. This is one that will change its colors. You can see where your glue is when you use the purple or blue glue sticks, and I just think that's absolutely amazing. All right, spread that little bit out there. Okay, get that so it doesn't get glued to my project. And now this one, I'm going to bring this one up, and I'm going to lay this one down here so it's glued down on the other side. Again, I'm going to leave just a little bit of a edging, get it as straight as I can with just a little bit of an edge, so that make sure my envelopes are all straight on the other three parts. And if they're a little bit off, no worries, because sometimes envelopes aren't all exactly the same even when they come from the same pack. Gonna really press down hard on this. And this is our basic construct then for our zigzag folio. We got, there's our Z. That's why I call it zigzag folio. Now, this part, I'm going to have pockets that can be filled. And this section, it will have a pocket in the front, but I'm going to put a little signature right here. So it will be a journal, and then you could always put little things that you might add to the journal in these back pockets that I have. So let's get my pieces here and see what I want to use for the front cover and everything. I had one piece here that I thought would look really cool on the front. This number 5, I thought that would be kind of cool on the front of this. So, yep, I'm going to glue it down, and then it's got just a fraction of an edge around it. And I'm going to come back and ink all around it, so that will cover up any of my white that's showing. Add this here. Might have to get another gluing page after this one, but I'm going to lay this way. That way, if I end up getting it on my envelope, it's not going to matter because that's where I'm putting it anyway, right? I'm not using real heavy. This piece that I'm using on the front is probably the heaviest. It's more like a cardstock, but the other pieces aren't quite as thick. And I honestly, I don't know what paper pad they're out of because I don't have the cover or anything for it. They look very much like a Tim Holtz or a repeat of a Tim Holtz, you know, like a Tim Holtz knockoff kind of thing. So I'm really not sure what I used, but I wanted to make this very neutral and give it a little vintage grunge look to it. Just because I'm falling in love with that way of decorating and doing things. And I just love how they turn out that way. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that extra glue on there. Get this down, and then I can use my spreader and try to get it as straight as I can here. Alright. I think that worked. Get a paper towel here to wipe off that extra glue. Yeah, there we go. Don't want to glue my folio close before I even get started, do I? Alright, there we go. Now let me get this pushed down on here. I'm filming this in advance. When you all will be watching this on Wednesday, I will be having surgery done on one of my feet. It's an outpatient. I'll go there and come home. It's nothing I have to spend the night for. But if you are a praying person, please send up prayers for me that all will go well. And then I'll be back here in my craft room as quickly as I can be able to record videos. We'll see how it goes. I hate to have surgery, so I'm concerned about that, but I'm not too concerned with the exact procedure I'm having done. It's to correct something in the toe of my left foot. So, sticks up too far and he's going to fix it so it won't stick up anymore. I'm just covering, before I know I was covering the paper, but this time I just started putting glue down right onto the envelope. It's going to be all covered anyway. I'll wipe off any extra that I have here. I think I better get that off the side there. It's going to end up on something that I don't want it on. So let's wipe that off. There we go. Okay, so what do I want up next to my 5? I probably should have decided this. This will actually be the inside of the folio when you open it up. So let's see. I just have a wide variety of some different papers. I really like this one, but I don't know if I want the ruler or just brown. Goodness. Let's go ahead and use this one. And again, I am going to ink this edge there where it's got that faux torn look. I'll go ahead and ink that before I put it down, and hopefully my glue stick won't dry while I'm playing with my ink. Yeah, I just want to get that, cover up that white bit, so I'm just rubbing my dauber along the edges here. I was afraid I could actually do this once I get it down on here, but I've got it practically done now, so that's good for me for now. And go ahead and get this piece down on here. We'll cover all my completely flat pieces first, and then I'll come back and get the where the pockets are going to be. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is create my own pockets, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and cover up the envelope pockets now that I think about it, because I'm really not wild about how that one pocket opens on the side that it does. So change of plans. I guess that's the beauty of doing this. When you're doing your own thing, you can just change plans right in the middle of it, and it won't make a bit of difference. Pressing that down real good so that spreads that glue inside out. Try to wipe some of that excess glue off here. I think that'll be okay. Still got that bit on my finger. I better get rid of that and grab another one if I need another one, or I'm going to have it everywhere. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and cover this, but I'm still not going to seal the envelope. I'm just going to cover it down on this. And let's see, I do like all these numbers right side by side. You know what? Let's put this one down in the front. Yeah, I like how those colors coordinate well. So we're going to put that one down here. Do I want to still have a front pocket? No, I don't think I do. I just want my pockets in the back here. All right. I need a new glue piece. You get rid of the one that is sticking to all my papers here. And I think I have another one under my... When I'm crafting, things tend to fall to my lap, so I got me a bag here right on my lap so I can throw my trash in it. It really works very well. Well, hold on, I'll be back momentarily. Okay, I dropped my little container of brads. Had to have somebody get those picked up for me. And back to covering my little zigzag folio. I've got this side covered. I went ahead and glued this piece down while I wasn't on here. So I've got all three sides from the front covered. It opens like this. I have all those covered. So now I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and this will be the very back, and these two pieces will be inside the journal. So, or yeah, inside the folio, I guess is what it actually is, huh? I have three pieces here, so I think I'm going to, is that exactly the same as the other one? No. So, do I want to use these two for the inside and that for the back? Or do I want to use that? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these two for where the pockets are, and then when I put pockets down, they can be made out of other things and kind of jump out at you, since these are plain backgrounds here. Alright, this is all going to get glued down, so I really hate to cover those rulers, but I'm going to. I think I have more of this somewhere, maybe. Doesn't really matter. It's only paper, Miriam. Alright. I am going to cover the back of this. I don't know if it will get glued down in a journal or not. So I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of my digital on the back, in case I decide I don't want to just glue it down and I just want to clip it in, or I might even decide to give it to someone as a card or a happy mail or a gift or something. All right. This is going to go in the middle section here. Tricky for me to get it exactly where I want it without getting it crooked. And I got it crooked. Try this again. Maybe I glued it together a little crooked though too. Always that possibility. Nothing is perfect in my craft room. I've given up perfection. Perfection does not work for junk journals. So point, they're supposed to look like they were created out of something you would normally throw away, and they can still look very pretty, don't get me wrong, but they don't have to be perfect. There's lots of ways if you make a mistake that you can fix your mistakes as well. Yeah, I got an awful lot on that back page, so I'm going to go ahead and put my glue down on it and cover it with my digital. I got two pieces of this. Which piece do I want to use? That one? Or do I want to use this one? This one has a little more darker colors, so I'm going to use it. Sticking everything together here on the mat. Get out of my way. You're for the inside, not to cover. All right. So, anyway, I don't know what the weather is going to be since I'm recording this in advance. It happens to be sunny today. But 2 days from now, I think it's supposed to be warmer. And it's supposed to get up warmer and then back to the 60s for the weekend. Isn't that the way it goes? I really don't mind because I don't work weekends, but for those of you who do, it seems to be cooler on the weekends when you can, if you're off, you can get out and do something. And during the week, it is warmer. Well, dog sees somebody, that's for sure. All right. That takes care of that. And we have one more piece to cover, and then we'll start getting into the pocket part of this and sewing in the signature part. I'm only going to put just a few page signature in it. All right. Don't glue down there. You're supposed to go up. And this will probably end up being the piece I use to cover my, I'll cover this part with it. And then I'll use either that or I'll have some leftover coffee dyed paper when I cut my signature that I could use as well. Okay. All right, so I got that, and let's get some glue on this and put it down, and this little folio will be completely covered. Wow. Leave it to me to get glue everywhere, right? Never fails. I have glue everywhere when I'm working. All right. The butterfly is kind of pretty on the back of this, but this is not going to be a butterfly kind of project. Unless I use a little snippet somewhere. And I have some of the things I've already made. We'll see if I can't use some of those as pockets or to decorate this up a bit. All right. So this goes on the last piece here. And I'll just fold that over so I don't end up with that glue all over the place. The floor, it goes to the floor. That's where everything goes, to the floor. Now, you wouldn't have to, but if you wanted to come along and reinforce your spine areas, you could do that. I'm not going to do that right now on this one, but you could always come back and do that. I'm going to use my inks and ink it up instead. So get this down good. Don't want it coming up on me. All right. So back to what we had to begin with, which was this, our Z folio. Now we have, this is the inside, the first section, so I can make pockets here, which is what I plan to do. And I thought maybe I have some of these Rolodex cards over here that I made the other day. And they're going to be too wide, aren't they? Well, phooey. I was hoping I might be able to get by with one of these in here. But that's not going to work. That's too big. So, let's see. I have my piece here to make pockets with. And I also have a couple larger tickets that I could trim a bit as pockets. And I have, what else do I have here? I have a couple longer pieces where I could use like a belly band or side tuck. If I do a belly band, I'm going to do it on the front, the other part. Okay, so this one's going like this. All right. See what I have here to create pockets with. I have this tag, but no, it's not going to work. Let's see if I would trim one of these. Yeah, that would be perfect. And I have my scissors handy here. So I'm just going to trim it where this line is right here. And I'm going to hold on to this other piece because it would make a nice piece in something. And that is very crooked, Miriam. See if you can straighten it out a bit. There we go. Much better. So I'm going to ink the edges and sand my edges a wee bit here. I will sand before I ink. There's my sander, and here's my walnut stain ink dauber that I've been using lately. I know it's a ticket, but I kind of want to even off these edges a wee bit. Because I also want it to really grab the ink when I ink it. This is you can't really see what I'm doing. Sorry, folks. Didn't realize I was off camera. This is one of those mini, tiny, whatever they call them, tiny daubers. And I just cut one of my sanding discs to fit it. All right. Let me ink this up here. And maybe another tickle over top of it might work. I also have some other pieces I can pull from here. Oh yeah. Again, I'm off camera. Sorry, folks. I pull things closer to me so it's easier to reach and I end up off camera. Never fails. Alrighty. Anybody have plans for crafting for your April or for your May? I'm going to continue on with the 100-day project. I'm only at about, let's see, today would be 53 or 54. I can't remember. All right, and I just want a little edge around this, so let me see if I can get this glue to be flowing freely. Make sure it's not clotted because I had it sitting upside down with no cap. Get my needle here. Are you going to open up for me? Might not even fit in here. Either it doesn't fit or it's really blocked off. So let me try this other needle. Actually, folks, I'm going to put the lid back on this and I'm just going to use my white glue and then I don't have to fight with this other right now to get it to go good. So make sure I get the lid on there so it won't dry out on me. All right, now let's try this one. All right, so I don't want to glue the top, so let me get it. Here we go. I'm going to glue the sides where my fingers are is the part I'm not gluing. And I've got 3 other sides I'm going to glue down here. Man, I'm just not having good glue luck today. I've tried the Sugar Bell bottles, but the tips are such so tiny for me that I even have trouble squeezing it out of those. There we go. That was the problem, I think. We have some glue that is wanting to block it off. Try these again. Here we go. Maybe I'm almost out of glue. Who knows? Maybe this is a 2-hand glue job here. There we go. All right. It's working now. Ah, get off there. Get off there. I hope everybody had a good weekend this past weekend. And I hope you got some crafting done. I got a journal finished up. And I hope by the time you see this, I'll have my second journal finished. Well, the second one that I've been working on, both of which are sold. Here we go. Put this down, and then I think I'm going to cut another one to put on the top. I didn't put a notch in it, but that's okay. All pockets don't need notches. Okay, there's one of my pockets. See what other tags I have here that I might be able to trim to use as well. Don't really like how that one would go if it's trimmed. This one could probably work, though it's not a sideways ticket. I think we'll use this 25 one. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to cut it actually on 2 different lines. I'm going to cut it here and here. I think that will make it to be about the same size as my other one. And I'm going to save these little bits because they make great decorations. Embellishments, I guess would be the right term. Or ephemeras, maybe, I don't know, is ephemera the stuff you put on it or the finished product? Everybody uses it differently, so I tend to get confused sometimes as to what word to use. Let's see, really technically needs another little bit of a trim, so off you go, number 12. Just going to cut on the outside of this line here as best as my cutting skills will allow me, because my cutting is horrible sometimes. That's why I like inking things up, because that'll hide your not so good cutting skills. I'll sand on the edges here, so it will again take the ink really good. And it'll get some of these ticket edges. Don't go to the floor, little sander. Here we go. These are, I believe, from the Tim Holtz ticket book. I believe it is they are from. Should probably turn it over to sand the front side, not the back. Just give it a little sand toward the front side here. And I'll ink it up and get it down. And because I'm so slow at doing things, this video will probably take a little longer than normal. So I'm actually doing a whole project here, not just some little pieces for decoration. Alright. And I think on this other side, I'm just going to make a side tuck ticket or piece. Alright. Hopefully the glue will flow freely again here. And I'll get this piece down. Just want a little bit of glue as close to the edge as I can, so that it holds my pocket, but it won't glue in my tickets or anything. Here we go. And that ticket that I was going to try to use here will fit in one of these pockets for sure. I wish we could play music when we're crafting on YouTube. Wouldn't that be nice? I know I've said that multiple times probably, but I just love to listen to music. If I'm not filming, I always have my friendly little device here from Amazon. Oh yeah, if you guys order from Temu, you need to check it out if you live in the United States, because I just got on there. That just didn't ink real well, or did I even ink the whole thing? I don't think I did. Add a little more ink. Anyway, you need to check it, because I got one of those things where it says, you know, pick out 2 prizes and you'll get this with it, blah, blah, blah. My 2 things that I had to order cost me $3. And when I looked at my total, because they're charging an import fee that is actually more than what you're paying for your products. So you're going to pay over double for anything that you order from Temu that's not shipped, that's shipped to the United States, unless it's sold by a local warehouse. All right. So we have these 2 pockets here, and I'll put one in that. I'm not going to put anything in the top just yet because I don't want to the glue to stick it. And let's see, I had some pieces here. We made a piece the other day that yeah, here we go. Thought maybe I could do that here. Or do you think, since I used tickets, let's do this. If this is dry enough to accept a ticket, yeah it is. We'll put it all the way down in there. And then I'm going to put this one right here. And I'm going to use a full-size ticket that goes up and down like this one, and put it right here to be a side tuck or corner tuck. Corner tuck. Yeah, let's do that. You probably can't see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is sanding the edges of my ticket. So let's just give this one a wrinkle here. Then when I go to ink it, that'll take the ink really good there. I'll lay this down because it's easier for me if I do my edges that way when I'm sanding anyway. And we'll do the top. Okay, get this down, and then it won't take too long to get the signature in, I don't think. I'm sure you all have seen signatures sewn into journals, so that will be nothing new for you. Okay. Now I'm just going to glue this down in an L shape, and that part of this journal or folio will be done. Couldn't have never done that twice in a row. Okay. Bring that down just a bit so that I can put something taller there if I want to. Okay. And just because it's laying here on my desk, I'll stick one of these other tickets there for now. Okay. Now, this is the front. The signature is going to go right here. So, let me get my pages ready for that. I'll get my signature in, and we can maybe do the closure and get it done. What do you guys think? Think we can get that done? Forgive me, I needed a drink. Okay. So I have some coffee dyed paper here. It doesn't have to go all the way to the top. I'm just going to fold it over to where I think would be a good place for it to fold. And it's just going to have a little 4-page signature. Yep. Where is my tear ruler? Here we go. I like to give this a torn edge. See how my tearing skills are today. Some days are better than others. Oh, perfect. That paper, I just love how it tears anyway. Now I need to tear it across the top here. Oh, I'll see if I can get that done right. Doesn't matter that the ruler's not long enough because I'll just tear part of it and then move my ruler. There we go. Cool. So there's my signature for this one. And I like the idea of having a belly band in the front. So I think I'm going to use one of these pieces here. See, is one longer than the other? Maybe? Nope. It's like exactly the same. So let's see which one looks better. I think I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to glue it at the top and at the bottom. And once I get the basic construct of this, I'll finish it offline and bring it back in my next video and show you how I decorated it. But you can decorate it in any way your little heart's desire. You do not have to do things exactly like I do. Like I said in my other video that I've done this week, you just do it however you want to do it. Okay. I don't want to cover that up, so it's going to be kind of a side belly band, so to speak. That you could just slip something in under there and close your little booklet. This would be the right size if you wanted to carry it in your purse. Straighten it up, Miriam, before it dries. There we go. Much better. And that's dark enough, it doesn't matter that I didn't ink around that. Totally forgot, but that's okay. Now, I also have this extra top to a paper bag here that I thought maybe I could get a page out of this as well. Move this over a little bit so I can see what I'm doing and try to get it straight. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't have my cutting mat out that has the lines on it. You're going to tear both. There we go. And I'll save this piece that I'm tearing off because that'll work in another little journal or folio. Okay, so I've got 6 pages here. And I'm going to do one, then do the brown, and then do the other. Okay. Where is my needle folio? Oops, I left my ink open. Did you guys catch that? I tell you not to do it, and what I do, I turn right around and do it, don't I? Alright, I just have some baker's twine here. And I'm going to use sew it together. And everybody says to use 3 of the height of your journal. So I'll get it, but I don't think I'm going to use that much. I don't plan to put dangles or anything on this. Alright, I am back. I was having trouble getting my needle threaded there, but while I was offline, I went ahead and sewed it together and added a little bit of embellishment and did my closure because it seemed to be taking me quite a long time online to get this done. So let me show you what you missed. Okay, back, I'm going to just leave those little pieces there because I was decorating up the pockets. Alright, so this is what we had, and I went ahead and sewed my signature in. I just used the brown that I was trying to thread on my needle and did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and sewed in my 3 pages. So now I have 6, which would make a total of 12 front and back. And I accidentally must have got some glue on there. Oh well. Scratch that off and it'll just add to the grunginess of it. There we go. And I put him down there at the back side. No pocket or anything, just one of the tickets that I made the other day and layered up. And I put a piece of my film strip here from Margaret at 7 Plaza. She has a film strip kit that's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You already saw me do my band here, where you could stick something in that. And I covered the front and back. After I covered the front, I took a brad, punched it through my little circle and punched it clear through the piece of envelope with the digital on it. And then I glued down this piece over top of the brad legs to hide those there. So now when you go to close it, I'm going to lose all my little labels I was gluing down there. When you close it, it closes like this. You wrap it around and bring it around here and wrap it around your closure. So I was just decorating up the pocket portion of this. I went through my tags and found another small tag that I thought would go very well with this, and I kind of did a different kind of a topper on that, and it fits in my top pocket, and I don't mind that sticking out at the top there. And then I added a tag to my, or excuse me, a topper to this tag that I already had made for my second pocket. And I was just looking at a few of my snippet labels. I thought I could use one or two of these to glue down here. This is one that I had stamped and then we just punched it out. So I thought maybe I could, yeah. I don't want to do a lot on here, but I am going to just glue this one down here and get it to pick it up. It's really, oh, come on, there we go. I need to get me a little pair of tweezers, and I haven't done that. So we'll be on the lookout for some tweezers that will work for me. Or go through what I have put away somewhere. So I'm sure I have more craft things put away that I haven't even discovered or remembered that I have. So, okay. We have that little embellishment for that pocket. And I put this down up here. I think if I have the fragile handle with care, that might work well up there. I just saw it here. Handle with care, not fragile, but handle with care. Yeah, that kind of brings out the red in my 25. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that one up on the top pocket. And I added a couple on this side here where I did the side tuck. So this will finish up this neat little zigzag folio. Very simple to make. If I can put these together, a beginner can do it. Because as you all know, I have my limitations because of my muscular dystrophy. My muscles are much weaker, so it's harder to do a lot of things online, but I have helpers that help me. And that's kind of neat. E. Wheeler, London. I like that. It's a shame I don't have a place that I can put that. Wonder. I like that it says E. Wheeler. Let's see about maybe. Yeah, I'm going to just put it right there. Add that right there. That looks very similar, but it is different. So they'll help kind of coordinate things together here. This is one that came in the 10-pulse snippets. I did not stamp the one I'm putting down now. That one was one I stamped, you can tell. It's a little fainted, but that's all right. There we go. Put that there. Bring those pieces. This is off of one of Margaret's kits that I printed on washi and made it a sticker. And we made this the other day of one of my videos when I was doing washi tape ephemera, I believe it was. And this was my washi tape tag we made in the same video. Alright, so there we have it, our little mini folio. I did not do anything on the front. The only thing I did was add some washi tape down this seam because it was completely white. And I thought over time that this would bend and might become a little bit fragile. So there we have it. You can wrap this whichever direction you would want to wrap it. And just go wrap that around there twice and let that hang down. And there's our little mini zigzag folio. Remember, we created a Z with our journal being there, which is very well protected back there. And then we have, this is the top, the middle line of the Z, and the bottom. So there we have it, our little mini zigzag folio. This would make a nice, you could slip it in an envelope, send it to someone, add money to it for a gift. If you want to use pretty papers, coordinating papers, and do it that way. I will likely just either put this in a journal or use it separately. I don't sell any of my products on Etsy, so I make what I end up using or giving away as gifts. So there you go. That's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. We'll see what happens after the ABC April challenge, and by the time you finish this, I should be home from my surgery, unless you watch it really, really early in the morning, and I should be doing okay. So thanks again for all your subscriptions and all your prayers and good wishes, and you all have a great afternoon. Bye until next time.